Good morning, students. I'm Sonia Augustine and I welcome you again to the English class. If you remember, students, we were doing this wonderful lesson of the 12 months. Just to give you a quick recap about the story tells you about Marouckla, who is a sweet little sensitive girl, and she stays with her mother. Unfortunately, that's her stepmother and her stepsister, Holina. Moroccola has to do all the work in the house and nobody appreciates her. It is her stepmother who really hates her just because Moroccola is very, very beautiful and very pretty. Holina gets very jealous of her and they want to get rid out of her. So what they do is they decide that one fine day they'll throw her out of the house. So even when the weather is very, very bad and there is so much of snowfall, Holina one fine day tells her to go and bring violets. Violets are flowers. And it's not at all easy to get flowers in the season of winter when there is so much of snow. But Moroccola had no choice but to go out of the house on that cold night. She goes there, she's weeping, she feels tortured, she feels hungry, she feels miserable, but there's no one to help her. Suddenly, she sees a light on the top of the mountain. That's like a ray of hope, and so she decides to go there. Once she goes there, she sees a scene which is something like this. We had discussed the other day, students. I hope you remember. Very colorful picture with the fire burning. And this is a sweet little Moroccola standing. And these are the 12 months. Now you remember. These are the 12 months. So Moroccola very kindly and very sweetly comes to them. And she, in a very sweet way, she says, "Can I warm myself?" Because it was very, very cold. And all these people who are sitting, they are the 12 months. So they agree, and then Moroccola tells them her sad story that she was sent by her stepsister and her stepmother to get violets. Now there is Great January who is in one of the months, and this Great January feels really bad, and he tells her, "Don't worry, we will help you." And he helps her as he tells March to take the club. Remember this club? This club, when it is waved out on the fire, it changes all the seasons. So the club is given, and then Moroccola finally gets the violets. When she goes home with the violets, what do you think? Was Holina happy? No, they were not happy at all. On the verge, they were irritated and angry as to how could Moroccola manage to get those violets. So they thought of another plan. And now, what did Holina demand? Holina told Moroccola, "I want strawberries." Now you know, students, getting strawberries in the snow is again an impossible task. Moroccola got very worried as she knew that it was impossible to get the strawberries. But even then, she decided to go. And again, her stepmother caught hold of her and pushed her out of the door and banged the door behind her. Again, Moroccola was left all alone. Keep your pencils ready, students. We'll read further. We have to mark the important words too. Page number 10. Moroccola went to the forest weeping bitterly. Now she started crying again. The snow was lying deep and there wasn't a human footprint to be seen anywhere. So no humans anywhere. The snow was too much. She wandered about for a long time, tortured by hunger and trembling with cold. It was very cold She wasn't even wearing any very warm clothes. At last, she saw the light she had seen the other day. Overjoyed, she went towards it. She came to the great fire with the 12 months sitting around it. Now Marouckla was there again in the snow. But there was one good thing about it, that she again saw the mountain with that light. So seeing that light, she was very happy because now she knew that she would have got again those people. Again she went to the great fire and she saw the 12 months sitting around it. Please, kind sirs, let me warm my hands at the fire. Again, very sweetly, like before, she says. Great January nodded and asked her, Why have you come again? And what are you looking for here? Now, Great January was very surprised. He couldn't believe because some time back she had come for violets and they had managed and they had helped her, and now she's again come for something else. I am looking for strawberries. My sister Holina and my stepmother bade me bring some strawberries, and if I don't, they will kill me. Tell me, fathers, tell me, please, where can I find them? So now Marouckla tells them the reason for coming over there at that part and asking for the strawberries. She tells them that she is helpless because if she doesn't take the strawberries home, her mother, her stepmother, and her sister would almost kill her. So she is pleading with them to please tell her a place where she can get strawberries. Great January rose. He went over to the month sitting opposite to him. It was June, and handed the club to him, saying, Brother, take the high seat. I hope you remember in that also he gives March to hold the club. I told you club is like a stick. June took the high seat upon the stone and swung the club over the fire. So in the same way, taking that club like a stick and putting it like this over the fire. The fire shot up and its heat melted the snow in a moment. So what happened? The fires, it started blazing, and the snowfall which was there, so much of snow, all that snow started melting. The ground was all green. The trees were covered with leaves. The birds began to sing, and the forest was filled with all kinds of flowers. It was summer. Wow, so nice. The moment June took the high seat and put it around like this, the fire blazed, and wherever there was snow, the snow started melting. And not only that, the ground was all green. The trees were covered with leaves, and everything became so very beautiful. And not only that, it looked like as if it was summer. The ground under the bushes was covered with white starlets. The starry blossoms were turning into strawberries every minute. So every minute, strawberries were there. They ripened at once, and before Marouckla had time to think, there were so many of them that it looked as though a red carpet had been spread on the ground. What a wonderful sight! Just imagine all strawberries all over the place. And Marouckla couldn't believe her eyes. She couldn't even think that at this part where there is so much of snowfall, she could manage to get strawberries. And that too not even one or two, but so many, as if there was a carpet that was put. Those many strawberries were there. Pick them at once, Marouckla commanded June. So now June told her, without wasting any more time, pick up the strawberries. So you can see, students, Marouckla is so happy. She is gathering all the strawberries, and see the amount of strawberries grown all over the place. Marouckla picked them joyfully till she had filled her apron full. This what she is wearing is called as an apron. Then she thanked the months with all her heart and scampered merrily home. So she was very, very happy that she had got the strawberries. Holina and the stepmother wondered where they saw when they saw Marouckla bringing the strawberries. Her apron was full of them. You can see her apron, it's full of strawberries. Where did you pick them? Asked Holina sulkily. Holina was not at all happy to see that Marouckla had brought so many strawberries. She was very irritated. There are plenty of them growing in the forest on the high mountains. Now, Marouckla did not tell them about the 12 months. She was very secretive about it. The only thing she told them that it was growing on the high mountains. Holina took all the strawberries and ate them all up with her mother. They didn't leave even a single one for Marouckla. Now that was too bad. What did Holina do? She took all the strawberries and she and her mother, both of them sat down and ate all the strawberries. And they didn't give Marouckla a single one. On the third day, Holina ordered Marouckla, go into the forest and get me some red apples. Now see, the first was violets. Marouckla managed to get that. The second was strawberries, which was an impossible thing, but even that Marouckla managed to bring. Now, Holina's demands kept increasing. Now, what she wanted was apples. The stepmother caught hold of Marouckla and without giving her a chance to speak, pushed her out of the door and shut it after her. So you see, students, to what extent did the two of them, the mother and daughter, harass poor Marouckla? Each and every time the demands kept on increasing, and even though they knew that it was the winter month when everything was very cold and things were impossible to happen, it was just impossible for Marouckla to get the fruit. But because Marouckla was such a good girl, that is the reason why the months always helped her. So you see, students, you should always be good like how Marouckla was. And whatever be the circumstances in her life, Marouckla tried her best. She did not give up. Imagine the small little girl kept out of her house in that snowy night, but even then she doesn't give up. She gives her best and she gets two things. One is the violets and one is the strawberries. And even after she doing that, her stepmother and stepsister were not at all happy. Their demands kept on increasing. And now what they wanted was apples. Now imagine, in this weather which was so cold, how was it possible for Marouckla to get apples? But the hard-hearted stepmother did not bother. What did she do? She took Marouckla and threw her out into that snow and told her, don't come back till you don't get the apples. And as usual, they shut the door on her face. So students, whether Marouckla again is successful in bringing the apples, whether the 12 months meet her again and help her, whether she gets back the apples and her stepmother are happy, all that and many things more about Marouckla we will be discussing in the next class. So till then, please learn the spellings. Please read the lesson again. It's a beautiful lesson and there's a lot to learn from it. And I'm sure you are learning the new words too. So till then, we'll meet again. Thank you and take care.